Okay, welcome back. This is the end, Act 5 of Julius Caesar. They have marched, Brutus and Cassius have marched to meet Mark Antony and Octavius at Philippi, and that is where we meet them in scene 1. Octavius, Antony, and their army are standing there, and Octavius says, "Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we do demand of them. I'm so surprised. You said they wouldn't come to meet us here. Oh my gosh, they did." Of course, this Cassius's very idea was don't go meet them. It's bad policy. But Brutus overruled him. Antony says, "I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. They could be content to visit other places and come down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage, but 'tis not so. They're just doing it to make a show of courage. They want us to think they're not afraid, and so they're being extra bold." A messenger comes in and says, "Prepare, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately." Antony says, "Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field." He answers, "Upon the right hand, I. Keep thou the left." "Why do you cross me in this exigent?" "I do not cross you, but I will do so." Octavius, the young man that Antony didn't think much of when he was waiting outside Rome, he's got a mind of his own. And these two aren't getting along together, just like Brutus and Cassius weren't getting along. All right, they're ready, and Brutus, Cassius, and their army, together with their heralds and guards, Lucilius, Titinius, Messala, and others, all march on the field. Brutus says they stand and would have parley. I think they want to have a meeting before we start battle. "Stand fast, Titinius. We must out and talk." And then we go over to the other side. Octavius says, "Mark Antony, shall we give sign for battle?" "No, Caesar, we will answer on their charge. Make forth. The generals would have some words." "Stir not until the signal." Over on Brutus' side, "Words before blows. Is it not so, countrymen?" Octavius answers Brutus, "Not that we love words better as you do." Brutus says, "Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius." Antony says, "In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, 'Long live, hail Caesar!'" Cassius says, "Antony, the posture of your blows is yet unknown, but for your words they rob the Hybla bees and leave them honeyless. So far, Antony, we don't know what kind of fighter you are. You're just a sweet talker. Can't really judge your fighting strength." Antony says, "Not stingless, too. I may be like the bees with my honey words, but I've got a sting." Brutus says, "Oh, yes, and soundless, too, for you've stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting." Antony says, "Villains, you did not so. When your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar, you showed your teeth like apes and fawned like hounds and bowed like bondmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Casca, like a cur, behind struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers." Cassius says, "Flatterers? Now, Brutus, thank yourself. This tongue had not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled." What does he mean? Antony wouldn't be insulting you like this, Brutus, if Cassius has had his way. Because Cassius said, "I wanted to kill Antony too. You wouldn't be standing here having this conversation with him if you'd listen to me." Octavius says, "Come, come, the cause. If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that that sword goes up again? Never, till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the swords of traitors. When am I going to put my sword away?" says Octavius. "Not until I have avenged Uncle Julius's wounds, or I, another Caesar, have been attacked with those same conspiratorial swords." Brutus says, Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringst them with thee. So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus's sword. Brutus said, Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable. Cassius says, he's a peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler, Antony, who's known for partying. Antony says, Old Cassius still. Octavius says, Come, Antony, away. Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs. And they leave Cassius and Brutus there. Cassius says, Why now blow wind, swell, billow, and swim bark. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard. Ho, Lucilius, hark, a word with you. My lord? And Brutus and Lucilius stand apart to talk. Cassius calls, Messala? What says my general? Messala, this is my birthday. As this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Messala. Be thou my witness that against my will, as Pompey was, am I compelled to set upon one battle all our liberties. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to meet them at Philippi and stake everything on one battle. But Brutus would have it so. You know that I held Epicurus strong in his opinion. Now I change my mind and partly credit things that do presage. So I used to be an Epicurean philosopher. We talked about the fact that Brutus is a Stoic philosopher, mastering one's emotions. Cassius is Epicurean. They believed in gods, but the gods are very, very distant. The gods don't really have anything to do with mankind. And there's no afterlife. The gods are distant, not sending messages to us, not caring really much about us. They just put a mechanical universe in motion and let it go. That's Epicurus. And he says, I used to be one of those, and I used to just ignore omens and things because I don't believe in them, because I don't think the gods communicate with us. He says, now I change my mind. Coming from Sardis, on our former ensign, 2 mighty eagles fell, and there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands, who to Philippi here consorted us. This morning are they fled away and gone, and in their steads do ravens, crows, and kites fly o'er our heads and downward look on us, as we were sickly prey. Their shadows seem a canopy most fatal, under which our army lies, ready to give up the ghost. I saw eagles perch on our military standards. Good sign. They've flown away, and now birds of prey are circling. We all know what it means when the vultures are circling. Messala says, Believe not so. I but believe it partly, for I am fresh of spirit and resolved to meet all perils very constantly. And Brutus and Lucilius now finish their conversation. Even so, Lucilius. Cassius says, Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly, that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together? What are you then determined to do? I think we're going to win. Don't worry, but you never know. And this might be the last conversation we ever have with each other. If we lose, what are you going to do, Brutus? Even by the rule of that philosophy by which I did blame Cato for his death, which he did give himself, I know not how, but I do find it cowardly and vile, for fear of what might fall, so to prevent the time of life, arming myself with patience, to stay the providence of some high powers that govern us below. My father-in-law Cato killed himself. And even though Stoic philosophers didn't usually look down on that, he said, I always kind of thought it as being a little bit cowardly. You should be willing to continue to live and take what comes. So he's saying, I don't know that I'd really kill myself. Not sure. Cassius says, Then if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph throughout the streets of Rome? No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end what that work the Ides of March begun. and whether we shall meet again I know not. Therefore our everlasting farewell take, forever and forever. Farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why, then this parting was well made. Cassius says, forever and forever, farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true, this parting was well made. Why then, lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it sufficeth that the day will end, and then the end is known. Come, ho, away! Right, they march out to battle. Then we just have a very brief scene in which Brutus is calling Messala and giving him a mission. Ride, ride, Messala, ride, and give these bills unto the legions on the other side. Let them set on at once, for I perceive but cold demeanor in Octavius's wing, and sudden push gives them the overthrow. Ride, ride, Messala, let them all come down. Right. I see Octavius's wing seems a little weak. Tell them to push on that side. Okay, another part of the field, Cassius and Titinius. Cassius says, oh, look, Titinius, look, the villains fly. Myself have to mine own turned enemy. This ensign here of mine was turning back. I slew the coward and did take it from him. The villains who are flying are his own men. Myself have to mine own turned enemy. And this ensign, his standard bearer was running the wrong way. I killed him and took it from him. You don't run away from the enemy. Oh, Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who having some advantage on Octavius took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we by Antony are all enclosed. Brutus is fighting in one wing and Cassius is fighting in the other, and Brutus has pushed in too soon, and Cassius's wing is a bad way. Pindarus comes in and says to them, fly further off, my lord, fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius, fly far off. Cassius says, this hill is far enough. Look, look, Titinius, are those my tents where I perceive the fire? They are, my lord. Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse, and hide thy spurs in him, till he have brought thee up to yonder troops, and here again, that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy. Right, I see troops there near the tents. It looks like my tents are on fire. Go find out, get close enough to find out what's going on and bring me word. I will be here again, even with a thought. Go, Pindarus, get higher on that hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard Titinius, and tell me what thou noticed about the field. All right, my eyesight's not so good for a distance. Pindarus, go up on the hill. You watch Titinius while he rides his horse out to find out what's going on by our camp, and give me word what you see. Cassius goes on while Pindarus is climbing the hill. This day I breathed first. It's my birthday. Time has come round, and where I did begin, there I shall end. My life has run its compass. Sarah, what news? Oh, my lord, what news? Titinius is enclosed round about with horsemen that make to him on the spur, yet he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now, Titinius, now some light. Oh, he lights too. He's taken. And hark, they shout for joy. Cassius says, come down. Behold no more. Oh, coward that I am, to live so long, to see my best friend taken before my face. Come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I did bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now, keep thine oath. Now be a freeman, and with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer. Here, take thou the hilts, and when my face is covered, as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. Pindarus, I need you to kill me. I want to die. I've lost the battle. Kill me. Pindarus stabs him, and Cassius cries out, Caesar, thou art revenged even with this sword that killed thee. And he dies. Pindarus says, so I am free. Yet would not so have been, durst I have done my will. O Cassius, far from this country Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him. All right. He runs off. Cassius's body is there. And Titinius and Messala come back in. Wait a minute. We thought Titinius had been captured by the enemy. That's why Cassius just had himself killed. They misunderstood what they saw. It was friendly troops that were cheering for Titinius. All right, Titinius and Messala come in. It has been changed, Titinius, for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus's power. Brutus won. His wing won, as Cassius's legions are by Antony. These tidings will well comfort Cassius. Where did you leave him? All disconsolate, with Pindarus his bondman on this hill. Is not that he that lies upon the ground? He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart. Is not that he? No, this was he, Messala, but Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sink to night, so in his red blood Cassius's day is set, the sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone, clouds, dews, and dangers come. Our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed. Mistrust of my success. He doesn't understand what he saw. Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. O hateful error, melancholy's child, does thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error, soon conceived, thou never comest unto a happy birth. When people make mistakes about things, it never ends well. But kill'st the mother that engendered thee. What? Pindarus! Where art thou, Pindarus? Where's his servant? Seek him, Titinius, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears. I may say thrusting it, for piercing steel and darts envenomed shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as tidings of this sight. Hie you, Messala, and I will seek for Pindarus the while. Right, Messala leaves. You go look, you go tell Brutus, I'm going to look around for Pindarus. And now Titinius has been left alone. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did not they put on my brows this wreath of victory, and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, take this garland on thy brow, thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius's sword, and find Titinius's heart. Titinius kills himself over Cassius's body. And in comes Messala, bringing Brutus and some others. Brutus says, Where, Messala, doth his body lie? Lo, yonder, and Titinius mourning it. Titinius's face is upward. He is slain. Brutus says, O Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails. Cato says, brave Titinius, look whether he have not crowned dead Cassius. Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans, fare thee well. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius, I shall find time. Come, therefore, and to Thassos send his body. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. Lucilius, come, and come, young Cato. Let us to the field. Labio and Flavius set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans, yet ere night we shall try fortune in a second fight. All right. Now, battle's still going on, same day, another part of the field. It says the soldiers of both armies come in, Brutus, young Cato, Lucilius, and others. Brutus says, Yet, countrymen, oh yet, hold up your heads. What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato. Ho, a foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato. Ho. All right. Cato says, a bunch of us are going to run around saying, I am the son of Marcus Cato. I am Brutus. Everyone just keep yelling, I am Brutus. And they'll come and they can't chase all of us at the same time. They'll be confused about which is Brutus. Who should I capture? Brutus says, and I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus I. Brutus, my country's friend. Know me for Brutus. Lucilius says, O young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why now thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and mayst be honored, being Cato's son. All right. Then a soldier comes and captures Lucilius. Yield or thou diest. Only I yield to die. There is so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death. Lucilius is doing it too. I'm Brutus. The soldier says, we must not. A noble prisoner. The second soldier says, room, ho! Tell Antony, Brutus is taken. I'll tell the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is taken. Brutus is taken, my lord. Where is he? Lucilius says, safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself. And Antony tells the poor mistaken soldiers, this is not Brutus, friend. But I assure you a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe, give him all kindness. I had rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on and see whether Brutus be alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius's tent how everything has chanced. And then we move to another part of the field where Brutus is. It's not going well for Brutus at this point. Come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock. Statilius showed the torchlight, but my lord, he came not back. He is either taken or slain. We sent Statilius out, and he showed a signal to say that he'd reached the position, but we've heard nothing more. Sit thee down, Clitus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Clitus. And he whispers something in Clitus's ear. Clitus says, what, I, my lord? No, not for all the world. Peace, then, no words. I'd rather kill myself. What did he just ask Clitus to do? The same thing Cassius asked for. Kill me. So Brutus tries someone else. Hark thee, Dardanius. And he whispers in his ear. Dardanius says, shall I do such a deed? Clitus says, oh, Dardanius. Oh, Clitus. What ill request did Brutus make to thee? To kill him, Clitus. Look, he meditates. Now is that noble vessel full of grief that it runs over even at his eyes. Brutus tries again. Come hither, good Volumnius. List a word. What says my lord? Why, this, Volumnius. The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me 2 several times by night, at Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come. Not so, my lord. Nay, I am sure it is, Volumnius. Thou seest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Volumnius, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that our love of old, I prithee, hold thou my sword hilts while I run on it. That's not an office for a friend, my lord. Clitus hears a shouting and trumpets. Fly, fly, my lord, there is no tarrying here. Farewell to you, and you, and you. Volumnius, and you, Volumnius. Strato, thou hast been all this while asleep. Farewell to thee too, Strato. Countrymen, my heart does joy that yet in all my life I found no man, but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day, more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus's tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon mine eyes. My bones would rest that have but labored to attain this hour. People are screaming for him to run. He hears shouts and trumpets. Fly, my lord, fly! Brutus says, hence, I will follow. Everybody but Strato runs. I prithee, Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword, and turn away thy face, while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato? Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord. Farewell, good Strato. He runs on the sword and says, Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will. And he dies. Everyone else has run away, and in come Octavius, Antony, Messala, Lucilius, who've been captured from Brutus's army and the army. Octavius says, what man is that? Messala says, my master's man, Strato. Where is thy master? Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him, for Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death. Lucilius said, so Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius' saying true. Because Lucilius had said earlier when he was captured, you will never take Brutus alive. Octavius says, all that served Brutus, I will entertain them. All right, you want to come over to my side? I'm not going to punish you. Everybody who was in Brutus's army, I'll give you positions. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me? Strato says, aye, if good Messala will prefer me to you. Do so, good Messala. How died my master, Strato? I held the sword, and he did run on it. Octavius, then take him to follow thee, that did the latest service to my master. Messala is sort of interviewing Strato. Are you worthy of serving the other side? What's the last service you did for Brutus? I helped him escape capture and humiliation. It's okay. You're worthy. Come on over. You've done all you can do. Antony stands above Brutus's body and says, this was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man. Octavius says, according to his virtue, let us use him, with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away, to part the glories of this happy day. That is the end of Julius Caesar. When we get together in class this week, we'll talk about the play. See you then.